Hello, good evening, and welcome to TWOOMPH, the online open mic with oomph. We're here at the end of a very sunny May to share some words and to have a lovely evening of poetry and prose. And we're going to kick off with uh, with the wonderful Scott Elder. Scott, you're coming back to read, aren't you? This is really exciting. So we've got a new um digital producer with us, Lucy. Wave to Lucy. She's gonna be putting up the slides for us as usual as we screen share. So let's see what our first slide is, Lucy, and we'll invite Scott to come to the mic, as it were. Here we go. And Scott, please feel free to just launch in and read, or if you want to give us some context, that also is fantastic. Over to you.
Okay, I guess I can just read from the screen. No, maybe I'll do something else. It's more used to it. So I can't see the screen now, but I see my poem on the screen. I can't see what was there before. So I have these three poems, and they were written about, I'd said 8 years ago, but perhaps 9 years ago, in response to the ongoing war in the Middle East and people fleeing war zones. And so this first poem was inspired as well. I must have seen a bit of something from the Bible and found this quote. Bombs don't fall. And King Solomon gave to the Queen of Sheba all her desire, whatever she asked. A dog was barking in the early hours. Who knows what you were dreaming? I held your head between my hands and heard a distant lute. A desert drum and tambourine, I was dreaming too. And in my dream I kept you whole, spare parts, rivets, glue. First comes the flash, then the thunder. Try not to wake before the thunder. I shook your body till pieces flew, and woke myself before the dawn. The wind was ever from the north. It made the tent cords whine. I put on a scarf and worn-out shoes, and walked a queen into the night, against the wind and wind-borne sand, bearing a gift for Solomon. Lifting slowly east and filling. The swells seem to deepen. You're too tired to be sick. Listen to the piston through your mother's thigh. Stars have no beginning at 2343, and there's no end to a diesel's drone. The man at the helm is no exception. He's just part of the dark steering you home. The ferryman told him to watch for Orion. If not, Taurus would do. You, my dear, must watch for me. A speck on the tide line is moving. Wait for me. This line runs north. The wind blows from the sea. Watch for smoke and move at night in the inverse direction. This line runs inwards. Its twisted edge is enough to make you shudder. Don't take it. This line goes nowhere. It's an illusion. Don't take it. This line leads back to where you crawled. It's blood-stained and has no promise. This is your heart line. Listen to its murmur. Your fate line is broken in many places. It's a lonely river with an uncertain source. This is your lifeline, travel in twos, an eyesight apart by moonlight. Go north to the sea. Don't move until you feel the warmth of my breath. Only then look back.
Thank you so very much, Scott. That was absolutely beautiful. Um, so dreamlike almost, you know, that like it makes me feel the same way as Deshiriko paintings make me feel slightly threatened, slightly surreal, slightly suspended in a dream state. Yeah, fantastically beautiful stuff. Thank you so much. And I see there's some comments coming through. Mesmerizing, yeah, absolutely mesmerizing. So as people obviously are demonstrating and know, the chat is the place to put comments and appreciation as people are reading. Favorite words, favorite lines, type them in as they come up. It sort of gives this beautiful collage effect of people's resonances as the poems flow through us. So don't be shy. Put something in there and let the poet know that they're speaking to you on some level. Let them see their poems in effective action as we go. Thank you so much, Scott. Really lovely. Um, so, yeah, dreamlike resonance. Yeah, they're absolutely how it feels to me as well. So the next writer we're going to go through to is Graham. Graham, I have to apologize. I've stepped in at the last minute for Rue, and I know that there's a really beautiful um biographic statement about your work that I don't have to hand. And I wanted to be able to give more of an introduction, but would perhaps you yourself like to say a little bit about yourself, and then Lucy will show the slide for the first of your pieces. Would that be okay?
That would be fine, yes. That's
Awesome.
super. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you very much for asking me to do this. I've put together a set of 4 poems. I've been writing poems seriously probably for the last 4 or 5 years. I write in a narrative style. I use Northumbrian dialect in some of the poems. I hope you don't struggle with that. And I realised when I put the set together that they all had a thread running through them, and that was um, that that primeval source of human comfort, the fireside. So I'm going to call this little set "Tales from the Fireside." And
Amazing.
my first poem is called "The Perfect Team." They walk together on the hill. Morning skies are bright and clear. His stride is purposeful and long. She always one step to the rear. He scans the purple heather vista. His eyes are focused on his task. She watches every move he makes, alert to do his bidding should he ask. She loves this man with all her heart and gives her love without condition, craves the smallest crumb of kindness given, is crushed by slightest hint of admonition. The sheep are strewn across the hill and needing move to pastures green. We buy no jest, he rasps. Like a bullet from a gun, she moves over bracken, moss, and rock and stream. Gannett wide, she arcs away and glides across the dusty heather. They cock their lugs, her woolly prey, as instinct drives them all to flock together. Steady now. She drops her speed. With stealth and guile, she brings them forward. One lifts its head to break away. She anticipates and keeps them coming homeward. The day is done. The race is run. By his fireside, he sits contented. She lies there stretched out at his feet. Rich reward for service rendered. But in her mind, she's out there still. Her paws, they twitch in animation. In her dream, she runs across the hill and the vast expanse of her imagination. I'm going to stick with the agricultural theme with my second poem. It is in dialect, which I'm not going to explain, other than a Raj collie dougal is simply a daft collie dog. And this poem is entitled Barn Conversions, and it is semi-autobiographical. The Hemel, the gin gang, the buyer, the stables, beloved by estate agents that give them quaint, rustic labels. The farmhouse, the bothy, these rural addresses sought after by yuppies all out to impress us. Well, I'm milk cows in yon buyer, led the horse from the stables, griped muck the Hemel when young, fit and able. The boss in the farmhouse, me in the bothy said damp, heated by coals and lit by oil lamp. The sounds and the smells see different then. The sheep dipper, the midden, cackling cree full of hens. The sweet scent of summer as we're forked to hay, clip clop of horses on cobbles at the end of the day. In the stockyard, the baggy clamps up with straw. Henry Cockrell perched on the gate stoop, he'd craw. Hastings and Conricks, I'll thatch trim and neat to goggle the geese would trip round your feet. In the winter time, ploughing with a fine Clydesdale pair, then the lambing, then the singling, as the weather turned fair. Through the mist of the Lunnon, the men from their jobs, hows slung over their shoulders, clay pipes in their gobs. In the croft would have yows and lambs, and a Raj collie dougal. Now it's ponies, alpacas, and posh pink cockapoodle, where the binder once stood poised to harvest the barley. It parked a Range Rover, a Jag, a Porsche, and Ferrari. I'm going to move now from the farm to the colliery, and this poem is, it's about mental health really, but it's set in a period of time when it wasn't properly understood, and this poem entitled In the Bleak Pit Winter. The days are short, the nights are long. Hazy yellow moon makes white rind on grey slate roofs glint and shine. Sulphurous reek hangs in still and ice-tipped air. Adgimpy Joe hobbles down the cobbled street, long pole in hand, on every frosted upstairs window pane that he encounters there. A hint the bedroom curtains, candles lit. The wife up first pulls tight a woolen shawl around her gown, then linty like and deftly down the stair she fleets. Poker, thrust and crusted smouldering embers, damper, dran breathes life in feebled flame as she swings the heavy iron kettle onto black lead range. She cooks in the ashes for them stir, tinkling splash and china petal. His shadow moves into the room on wooden settle doon he sits. She hands to him a steaming brew, his card calloused fingers call about it. She needs this man. She needs his labour and his wage, should not dispute it. But as she stoops to lace his boot, she wonders if it but once to him occurs that just as she depends on him, he every bit as much depends on her. She coils his scarf around his neck, buttons up his coat, passes him in greased paper, wrapped his bread and dripping bait. Me words exchange, just a silent nod from him and tender, loving shoulder tap from her. He steps into the street, red taverns glow like fireflies as he pals and file among his maras, and with muffled grunts and coughs they one another greet. 10 to 6, the buzzer blares. At 6 o'clock, the colliery gates are shut and he gnaws. He wakes in dark, to walk in dark, to work in dark, in danger. Work is hard, yet nae work harder still than in dark. But first, detour to public house to raise that hard-earned jail or 2, or maybe 3. And as he stay at the bar and mellowed by the drink, warmed by glowing hard-hewn coals, it gives him pause to think of spring and brighter days to come. And deep down inside his darkened mind, he knows his sullen, sombre, melancholy mood is caused by lack of daylight sun. My last poem is called Echoes of the Colliery. And again, it's a sort of hark back to my childhood, brought up in that very harsh industrial landscape of pit heaps and shipyards, and yeah, Echoes of the Colliery. Weeds and seeds conceal the sharp and half-rotten boards of wood, cover the history in tears and blood. I'm 10 years old and standing there as the east wind blows the chill. I stoop and put me hands together, project me voice thin and shrill. I hail the very depths of hell. Hey, who's there? Me message flies. A pause, and then from the black abyss below, an eerie voice replies. Hey, who's there? He answers back, a lad 10 like me. Is he trapped at the bottom of the mine shaft for all eternity? An echo from an older time when lads like me went down the mine to work in seams of coal and grime, born into the harshest time. Poverty, only crime. Could it be Grandad's grandad calling out from purgatory, plea from down the ages, reaching up to me? In fear and fright, turned and ran across the rough and pitch-scarred land, and never stopped till safely home and by me fireside. And as the glowing embers die, Grandad bids me come outside to fill the scuttle is me chore. I tremble by the coal house door, then cautiously, with measured care, I repeat the question. Hey, who's there? And whispered back, it's only me, the echo of the colouring. Okay.
Wow.
Wow, 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 Graham, that was absolutely fantastic. There's some really, really lovely comments coming through, and I agree with all of them. Fantastic to hear that dialect, to hear that accent. Um, Everything about that was so rooted. Do you know what I mean? It's so
I,
redolent of
I
place.
do, yeah. I write from my own experiences and from stories that I've heard
Yeah,
from family
yeah.
and work colleagues. So yeah,
Yeah, you can really feel that all of that has some deep truths running through it. That was really wonderful. Thank you so
thank you.
much. Um, wow. Right. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our next open micer. So that was a spotlight piece where somebody comes to us and says, "Can I do a bit longer? I've got a set of poems that go together, or I've got a little something that I want to put that it's going to take more than 5 minutes." So that's available to everybody if you want to attempt a longer spotlight. And now we're going to have our normal sort of 5 minute open mic reader slot, and it's a delight to bring onto the microphone the wonderful Sandra Falconer, who I can see we've got one coming out here, Saltholm Winter, and I love Saltholm, so I can't wait. Sandra, my love, take it away.
Right. For those who don't know, Saltholm is a bird sanctuary just across the river from me in Middlesbrough. I'm a Middlesbrough poet, and I've been writing for about 7 or 8 years now. And these are two poems that I wrote after a couple of workshops in Saltholm with the wonderful Bob Beagrie. Saltholm Winter, and the words are slightly edited. Under the brooding gaze of the timeless Cleveland hills, beyond the frantic bustle of city life, where a dandelion pushing through concrete is enough to kindle hope, beyond rusting remnants of an industrial past, the clock tower, the transporter bridge, reflect on the waters of Saltholm, a sacred spot where the veil is thin, not needing to announce its existence in exaggerated tones. Content in primeval innocence, the marshes rest in silvery silence under the small warmth of a January sun. Surface breached by pokerback reeds, roots hugging the earth, spikes stretching proudly upwards. The quiet, pierced by the persistent chirp of the avocet and black-headed gulls who soar and plunge. Saltholm belongs to such as these. Meanwhile, the ancient hills and the marshes commune, knowing that when all else has passed, they will remain as one. Now then, the second one came about as a combination of the visit to Saltholm and something I had to write a trailerless, which is a very complicated form. But I was quite pleased with it when I finished it. And this is Saltholm Spring. Neath the endless expanse of a cerulean sky, the widgeons glide noiselessly home, with reed heads for nesting, avoiding my eye, neath the endless expanse of a cerulean sky, where the gulls of the salt marsh insistently cry, and light glisters bright on the waters like chrome, neath the endless expanse of a cerulean sky, the widgeons glide noiselessly home. Thank you.
Oh, Sandra, that was lovely. The trailer was great. It's once you get the hang of it, it really kind of comes together, doesn't it, as a form? So it looks simple,
It's
but
it's it's fun to write it actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the glittering like chrome. Which is which is so good, of course, because we're in such a post-industrial landscape that it's really appropriate to have like those mentions of metallic, hard, industrial
And,
kind
and the
of.
thing about Saltholm is the contrast, because it's so ringed by industrial remnants and the
Yeah,
busyness of Modern Teesside.
yeah, it's right
And
there,
yes,
isn't it?
it's so
Beacon Hill.
peaceful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm looking forward to hearing other people bringing stuff out of that group because Bob's been running that Saltholm nature writing group, and I think there's going to be some really lovely work coming out of it
Mm.
from everybody. So that was great, having a little sneaky peek. Right, well, I can see from the screen that we're now into shenanigans territory, but I do not know what shenanigans Rue had planned. Lucy, am I right in thinking that we have no knowledge of shenanigans
No
whatsoever?
knowledge of shenanigans.
No, no knowledge of shenanigans. So I'm going to make up a shenanigans for us, and because we've got a lovely small group, I think it would be gorgeous if anybody wanted after the break to do a very brief show and tell kind of thing. Normally we've got if there's too many people, we just put stuff into the chat because that makes it swing by. But how about we have like a 5 minute break now. We grab ourselves a cup of tea, and while you're out and about, pick for me just a favorite thing that you can show us and say why you like it. Maybe it's the most summery thing as we're moving into summer, or maybe it's just like a favourite object, probably something quite small that we can hold. And maybe it's got, just a little bit about you that you could say where you got it. Maybe you got it on your honeymoon or your last holiday. I don't know. A little bit of something that you can show to the camera and tell us a tiny, tiny 2 line story about it. And then we'll all get to know each other a little bit better, and that'll be lovely. And if you don't want to do that, that's also completely cool. You can remain an international person of mystery. And that's fine. Okay, so my clock says it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes past 7. So let's come back at 10 past and see where we're at.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Righty tighty ho, it's 10 past by my clock. So, as and when, come back in, and I shall maybe, if we can, yeah, I'll just make my screen so the shenanigans are small, but all of your faces are a bit larger. And then, if we want to, we can share a story and an object or something about ourselves via the medium of objects. And I shall kick us off because show you what I mean. I have got with me. Can you see this little tin? Yeah. Can anybody see what kind of writing that is? Can anybody read the writing? Probably not. I think it's swapping my screen round as well as it being in Cyrillic. But this is a tin that it was a tin of tea. It was a tin of Russian caravan tea that I got in Moscow when I was 16 with a school trip, and which I've kept for years and years and years. And I loved it because I loved the trip, but also because when you open it, it's got an inner thing like that. So it's got two lids. And for ages, it was my cash box when I used to be a shiatsu practitioner. And I would go out to fairs and holistic places and I would give treatments and I would put my cash in there and I would keep kind of lucky charms at the bottom of it to try and attract money into my tea tin. But now it contains lots of little cards with sayings from the Buddha on it that I choose every so often on a morning to keep myself in line with the universe. So that's my little object. It's my Russian tea tin. Has anybody else got a little object that they want to tell us about? Yeah?
Yeah,
Go
I've
for
got one. I've got one, Tristan.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you see it's a little wind-up flamingo? It doesn't have as illustrious a history as your little box. It's actually quite a recent addition. I did a poetry set at the Stop Right Here group in Darlington, where I read some of my poems from my dissertation. And some of the poems have a flamingo in them. And my dear friend Anne Cuthbert, who some of you will know, presented this to me a few days later as a little thank you and an acknowledgement that she'd heard my words. So yeah, it's up on my mantelpiece near the desk. So I just thought that's been something that's
Love
been
it.
quite moving for me lately. So yeah, thank you for letting me talk about it.
Love it. Love little gifts from friends. They're the best. Friends are the best. Who else has got a little thing to show us? Connor, did you nod? Yeah, Connor, what's your thing?
I've got this little VW van. It's because basically I've always like wanted one, and like I always joke around like with my family, and like say as it's coming to my birthday or Christmas, I always say, "Oh, I saw you gonna get me the van this year," and And like on my last birthday, my granddad came to the meal and we went out for a meal and he was like, I've got you the van. And I was like, I actually believed him. And then he pulled this out and I was just like, that's actually way more funnier than getting the van. If I got the van, it'd just be really like flash and materialistic. This is dead like funny, so I think it's better.
That's awesome. That's really good. Although for a moment there, maybe you could have had a real
I
van.
know. I was like, oh my God. I did like I was just joking. And then I got it. But no.
Love it. Right, well, we shall all send you good money-saving karma so that one
Yeah.
day you can get your own van. That would be really good.
Thank you.
Wow, Connor. Anybody else got a little something to share with us
Yes,
with a
I've got
story?
something.
Sandra, what have you got?
Right, I have got something that was given to my parents as a wedding present in 1939.
Oh my God.
That's where the nibs go for pens, and that should be where the inkwell goes, but I think that's been lost somewhere. Now, this little thing has been bombed 3 times because it went right through the war and they were in the middle of London. And then it sat on their mantelpiece right through my childhood, and I inherited it when my mum died.
Oh my gosh. Is it made out of something? Like it looks like
Yes,
it's like,
I think it's made out of oak.
oh wow. What a bizarre and very, very sturdy thing and lucky thing to have
It
gone
is.
through all of that.
And I
Awesome.
was I told the people at Dormans about it, and they were so enamoured. They said, "Can we please have it to display for a month?" And they
Brilliant.
did.
Amazing. Thank you very much,
So
Sandra.
that's my little bit of
That's
well.
welcome. Anyone else before we move on to, I think it's Connor's set next. Anybody want to show
I've
us
got
a piece?
something that's quite unusual.
Okay.
I would guarantee nobody else has got one of these. I don't know. Can you see that or not?
Oh,
You see
what?
it?
Yeah.
Made of steel. It's about 14 inches long,
Yeah.
and
What
it's
is
a
that?
bovine insemination rod. That's what I use to inseminate cows with, because I'm a sex worker. That's my job. But I only have sex with cows. And the reason I've introduced that, well, one,
That really
I was
went to
using that
places I
about,
wasn't expecting, Graham.
yeah, well, it was a routine to make performing my stuff, because I wrote a song which was a parody on the George form When I'm Cleaning Windows, but it was When I'm Inseminating. And I performed that to a group of my peers, and that really gave me the performing bug, and I started writing from then. So this particular object, yeah, it was my
The beginning of
route
it all.
into songwriting and poetry, known
Wow.
in the trade as a gun or a rod.
Wow.
There you go.
Fabulous. Well, I don't know how to top that. I'm going to give like one more chance if anybody's got something better than a bull inseminator to show us. Or have we peaked? Denise, have you got anything there?
No, I'm not following that.
Oh, dear me. What about you, Scott? Have you got anything to
Yeah,
show us
yeah,
for your
I'll
words?
follow that, but it won't be as good, but I'll follow it anyway. So here I've got, I don't know if you can see them, how many objects there are,
Oh, lovely.
I see
but
a
one of them I'll
black
take.
rope and a yin yang ball and
Yeah.
oh,
And this one, it's doesn't, the particular thing, why it's so interesting is that simply that when you go like this, it's not working well. There. Did you hear it?
no, I can't hear. Does it
You
ring?
can't. Well, anyway, for me, it brings back the Middle Ages. It brings back the churches of the Middle Ages and the cathedrals and everything that's involved with that. A whole different life and from where we came. That's it.
Wow. An evocative sound to just have with you, like listening to the sea in a shell. Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. That's really good. Well, I think we should probably have a bit more poetry and words and inventiveness and creativity. So let's see what we have coming up next. If Lucy can show us the next thing. Shining a light on Conor McCready. Hello, Conor. So
Hello.
yeah, lovely to have you with us. My understanding is that you are an actor who is going into writing, but again, as I said with Graham, I do not have your bio to hand. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how it is that you've come to be here reading your words tonight?
Yeah. Basically, I I start, but my friend is a spoken word artist, and I didn't actually know, spoken word or poetry like even existed until I went to drama school in Manchester, and my friend literally just said, I'm doing this poetry night. I was like, "What's that?" He was like, "Well, it's like spoken word. Come and watch." And then that's literally the first time I'd ever seen it when I was, 19. And so then I'd followed him quite a lot, and then I'd started writing my own stuff. And then there's a show in America called Deaf Poetry Jam that's, presented by one of my favorite rappers. And there was a couple of poets on that show that you if I'd sent you them, you could hear the similarities in terms of rhythm and like the way I like to perform it, I guess. But that's how I got into it, I guess. Um, Sorry, Kristen, should I carry on?
Yeah, thank you so much, Conor. Sorry, I was just trying to find my mute. Thank you. That's really great. It's amazing how many people sort of come circuitously into poetry, don't realize that it's something that exists or that they'd even like, and then
Yeah.
get bitten by the bug. So, thank you so much for bringing your work here. I can see that our next slide is up, and yeah, take us away and let's hear some of your stuff.
I'm so sorry. The name for this, it was there was no actual name for this poem. It sounds so weird, existential poem. I'd basically I'd had to clean it up, and it must have just, I must have accidentally just put It's not an existential poem. So sorry about that. But yeah, I just want to thank. Obviously, Rue's not here, but I just want to thank her so much, for letting me perform. And Kristen also, I met Rue a couple of months ago at the Born Lippy Poetry Slam, and also Graham as well, so hi Graham. And yeah, I'm really grateful and privileged to have been asked to come along. We met at the poetry slam, and I've never done a poetry slam before, and I realized you have to, you know follow the strict rule of your poems being 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
And that's just awful because my poems were way longer than that. So I don't think I'm up for doing poetry slams anymore. So yeah, one thing I will mention, all my poems are about love. I don't know how that's ended up happening, but I do, to be fair. Like, I'm born on the April the 8th, which means I'm like slap bang in the middle of being an Aries star sign. So I wear my entire life on my sleeve, as you'll see in my poems. So I think that's why, I don't know, the idea of love. I love my family, like being in love. Everything is just all about that. But this first poem is about the most important kind of love, which is self-love. And I kind of have to say that because I'm single right now. So I guess, yeah, it's relevant. But here it goes. My name sticks close to the knife. It's like I'm trying to wing myself on the left of an existential kind of life, but now I'm stuck. As I think back on all the right and the wrong things that I say, I waste hours of my day with second guessing in the way. So stop expecting, because it's as soon as I'm reflecting, I'm deflecting the connection until I'm fully head up and weighed down upon impression. Instead of listening to what I'm feeling between my rib section, I tell myself, if I don't make the cut, then it's not that deep. Or if I'm not articulate, I'm intellectually weak. If I'm anxiously trying to jump to the end, then how the hell am I supposed to find my feet? But it just sometimes feels like I've got to research for a week just to talk on the same pages of the chapters I believe you naturally speak. And then I blame myself because it's easier just not to speak. And it takes two to make a conversation, right? One to speak and one to listen. And from a state of truly listening, you then speak truly from what you feel. But you can't be listening hard enough because inside it feels like I'm screaming. So I step back and gather. I try to wake and shake myself up, and then I begin to see this mental infection spreading. I check my reflection. I've got two-thirds of my solid flesh that's sweating. Just for a second, bracket out your depression. Release your tension. Realize the intent of manifesting your affection to this age of mass suppression, because your soul won't hit for what my eyes can see, how I live, how I treat, and how I breathe. Your soul won't hit for what my eyes can see. It's not just about you. Where's you and me? Forget me, bring we. When did we forget each other? How did we forget being there for the other? They, them, he, she, sisters, others, brothers, leaving my judgments at the door, or I'm never going to find something real, even if it slapped me in the face. It sounds mad, but I've been trying to live my life by 3 rules. Number 1, the next time someone pisses you off, forgive them. Number 2, understand that you cannot get anything from the external world that you are not actively giving yourself. And number 3, chill out. Don't speak for a second. Close your eyes and listen. What does your heart tell you? And it's hard, it's horrible, it's nasty, it doesn't work, it fails, it contradicts, and it lies. But maybe, after a while, it sinks and it sets. Your patience helps grow away from the detest. You actually come out of the dark and you start motivating others from themselves. You realize that there's nobody bringing you down other than yourself. Your life, thy neighbor, and this world are beautifully, disgustingly blessed. So let thy mind create thy kingdom, and let the rhythm of thy breath be your wealth. Find your serenity. Then let thy heart wander to thy rest. Thank you. First one. Finito. So this is so weird because I've never done a Zoom. I mean, I haven't done many poetry nights before. And I've definitely never done a Zoom one before. So this is brilliant. But from the poetry slam and meeting room and Graham, I also got to perform through meeting someone else as well at their poetry night, and I found it so weird that I've never done it before, where I say the poem and then I finish it and then I carry on and then I say another poem. It's like I'm a gig or something. But yeah, so I'm just again. I'm just like really grateful to be here. This second poem is it's about requited love. It's a little bit happier than the first one. I don't know if anyone on the chat has been like lucky enough to experience requited love. It's a rare thing, and I experienced it for about 6 months 8 years ago. So if this was what happens after that, then who knows? Maybe if I get to experience it for a little bit longer, next time I might be able to write a bloody Shakespeare play. So so this is requited love, my version. My senses were paralyzed, numb to this person that was stood before me. It was at a time when things were dark, like a darkness I once ever only heard my friends speak, but I kept my ears closed thinking, lad, I don't know what advice I can really give, but it's going to be a long time before I let those trembles ever alter my physique. And then, within a few weeks, she blossomed. It was kind of like how mysteriously red scarlets beyond our human reach can flourish in the most unlikeliest of places, but this flower precipitates colours that words can't describe, that no pattern of stars in the deepest purple twilight of a moonlit sky could devise. You see, I remember thinking, if I can't have her and be able to call her mine, I'll cut out my eyes. I'll go fully Oedipus style blind. I won't stop until my heart breaks through my ribcage and chest, until my soul groans for your love and my lungs cave in from out of breath. Then need a second to smell your smell, getting all up in my smell and thinking like how class it would be if one day our smells like merged together to form a whole new smell of its own. One of the colours is kind of like an ocean lagoon blue streaming through her veins. She said to me, you can only really see this colour when I'm feeling warm, but it's there, endlessly glistening underneath the skin. And when I say this is a different kind of skin, I mean it's a different kind of skin. This is a shade from another spectrum, a bird of another feather that I've never felt nor smelt nor seen nor tasted another skin like this. Her skin is like some smooth original Jesse Ariano beat, making me vibe out thinking how tropical rain feels different to normal rain, how her skin is bringing the tropical to my rain. As we cuddle palm to palm, hand in hand, her skin on mine is soothing all my rough touches with this smooth tenderness. The kind of skin which is tender and smooth. The kind of skin that gets you dancing to an Aretha Franklin midnight after groove. It feels delicious to describe, but the taste. Okay. I need you to visualize the taste of vanilla salted caramel ice cream with like a Belgian chocolate breita and pistachio base on a warm, sunny. This girl is just warm and sunny. No matter where we go, she brings this summer step to my spring. Her eyes have this 12-carat twinkle in the dark type of bling. I'm telling everyone it means more to me than just a fling. It's like her beauty is unceasing, like the way the day and the night break in, but more so. Because when the night creeps in, her colours change again into this deep orange optical phenomena you see smothering a sunset and rise. Van Gogh didn't have a clue what a starry night looked like until he encountered her ancestors. And then he had to imagine the creation of this perpetual goddess of summer peach. I swear, she has this afterglow that only my eyes can see when it's 14 moonshines down from sunset and into dusk, mixed with the eternal sunshine of her spotless, sexy mind, which dawns all around my out and insides, baffling me to realize, is this love? Is this love? Is this love that I'm feeling every day and every night? Thank you for that one. Perfect. It's so much better to finish some of these poems when you're actually on stage and you have the interaction. But sorry, I'm finding it dead awkward to finish them on this. But yeah, thank you again for listening and your comments. I am reading the comments as well. That's perfect. Thank you, Scott. That's lovely. So this poem I've only saw this is this might have to be my last poem because I it's quite long. This one's quite a lengthy poem actually. So it's a little bit longer than the other two, and you know, I wanted to perform this poem so much at the Born Lippy event. And Graham will remember, you know, I've only written it really in November last year. And I was desperate to share it because I thought it was, you know, I really, really love it and I love performing it. And I was just going over it all the time on my own and at work. And I was just so like itching to share it. And because of the structure of these poetry slams, you know, you're only allowed 3 minutes. And I was like, in my head, I was thinking, if I don't get through to the next round and I can't perform this poem, I'm gonna go home like absolutely devastated. So what I decided to do was I probably should have done the structure what I've done tonight at the slam, but because I was so desperate to perform it, I split it in two, and nobody liked the first half, so I didn't get through the next round. So I was so gutted, and so yeah. So this is, you know, I have got to perform it before because I got to perform it a few weeks ago at a poetry at a just a poetry night. But yeah, this is sort of the second time I've done it to a full audience. So it means so much again. So I'm so grateful again to Rue and Kristen for, you know, letting me share it. But yeah, this poem it's written. I've been trying to write a play, and the play sort of, you know, it's some of it's, you know, spoken words, and some of it's, you know, like inspired by, you know, like the hip hop Shakespeare movement that was you know, that was a few years ago now by an activist called Akala from down south. And yeah, I guess it kind of, the idea of the play is, you know, there's two characters, it's a two-hander, and they have interactions with each other, and then there's they sort of double role, and then there's moments where they have these sort of soliloquies, and you know, they're expressing their thoughts and what's going on in their heads, and this is written as the characters sort of, he's sort of muttering to himself in this ethereal place. He doesn't quite know where he is, and this is the sort of breakthrough moment, where he sort of lets loose all of the random things he's been saying throughout the play. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it, and thank you again. But it is a bit of a lengthy one, so no worries if you need to get up and go to the toilet or something. But yeah, there he goes. We're getting the start of it now. I'm gonna look. Okay. I've got this feeling. It kind of feels like I feel too much and then keep getting caught up in the feeling. It feels like I'm dreaming. But the only time I'm dreaming is when I'm laid in bed with the four walls. The four walls compact from the floor to the ceiling. Night knock on the window to take away the bad thoughts and smelly breathing. My stomach is twisting through this mess that I might have been creating, but now it's not unraveling. It's two-time wrapped up, entangling, manifesting the unhandling, battling the feeling so intense it's wrapped around my neck choking, it's strangling while I'm still trying to save face. Yeah, I'm sound to go back to Wagwan in them. The feeling kind of feels self-inflicted, like I was trying to pull back, but it keeps eating and eating, and I'm still not eating. This feeling's devoured my hunger. Trying to sleep so badly, but so awake, sleeping feels almost disgusting. Like if I went to sleep, would it go away? Do I want it to go away? Trying to rest my mind, but my mind's so intent on trying to figure out how a feeling so intense could make me starve. Seriously, I lost like 10 kilograms in, you know, 3 weeks. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, if anybody's interested, it really, you know, does help with like dieting, or if you're an actor and you need to lose weight really quick. And like, I sort of laughed because at that point, I thought more of you might have laughed. My friends and family at home laughed because I try to make like normal. Sorry, no. I try to normalize how this feeling's feeding itself from my insides. She said I'm intense. So I didn't think I was that bad, like. But then again, if I was you hearing this, I'd probably be thinking, calm down, lad. When I'm in it, it's like I can't listen to what anyone says. I mean, what do I need to hold back for? It's like the harsh sting of bittersweetness. We get a moment alone to talk, but let's just hold back with the realness. It's like I want you in the picture, but you can't be a part of the sequence. It seems to me like your words are seeming seamless. So eventually I fall asleep. 3, 4 hours a night, every night for 5 weeks. My every day feels like I'm dreaming. I think about splitting the veins of my own destiny to figure out how this perfect reality, this easy, privileged life I should be living every day with honor in my stride somehow feels like I want to be less alive. Just why? Why? Why can't you take a risk in your not so satisfactory life and just give me a try? I'm in this for the long run. If you leave it for me to decide, I can see a house and a whole future as I look deep into your eyes. I can hear our children's hearts beating in my mind. We have 3 little ones, and we're in one of those big, posh, botanical Italian garden places surrounded by a bunch of fountains. Our eldest daughter is on my shoulders. You're teaching our youngest how to flip a coin and make a wish. She accidentally whispers her wish in your ear as you look up at me and smile, while Our son is reaching over a barrier to touch a statue with a sign on it that clearly reads, "Do not touch this statue." And I'm fine. I'm fine. My mind is fine. And I'm eating pasta on top of pizza here, and it's fine. And we can slow down, and that's fine. Now, a few weeks have gone by, and you've still not replied. I'm not eating again, so my stomach begins to feed on my pride. The darkness closes in and begins to thrive. Maybe, she was just trying to play me. Let me have a little try, because in my mind's eye, I can see her skinny dipping in his stained sheets divine. She's gone back to him, and the whole dream feels like, well, just feels like it was a lie. My words turn into the rocks that's getting crushed into my whiskey, as it ever so slightly drips above my knee and soaks through to the poison that I'm subtly unsealing with my unsoaked fingertips in my pocket, just to make me feel. The warmth that I felt in my chest, these unexplainable feelings I'm finding difficult to express. The life she leads breathlessly took the words from her speech. She left me with pen and paper and poetry as my only means to speak. The way her eyes looked deep into mine made my heart seize beneath the skin. I'm pinching every inch down my side as I scream that this doesn't feel like it's a dream. Am I alive? She made me forget about it. Money, war, politics, how long we've got left, how everyone thinks they know best, how you'll never get to explore the world if you just aren't kind to one another and can just laugh with your chest. She made me forget about it, and then everything in conversation would somehow divide and multiply. You see, we'd forget how important it was to remind ourselves, to enlighten our eyes of all this beauty, no matter how big nor small in size, from my sunset to her eyes. It feels like I'm dreaming. But the only time I'm dreaming is when I'm laid in bed with the four walls compact from the floor to the ceiling, night lock on the window to take away the bad thoughts and smelly breathing. But didn't a wise man once say, "You may say I'm a dreamer." Sorry, I can't sing, but I'm not the only one. That's it. Thank you. That's perfect.
Thank you so much, Conor.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for bringing the emotions and the intensity and the actorly performance of lines and digging into that, into the movement of character, and that was really fab. Thank you so much for bringing
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Lovely comments coming through, use of images, the deepness of it all. Really wonderful, and really nice to hear about your journey into performance as well. For
Mm,
anybody who's at the beginning of their journey, it's always great just to know
yeah.
how the stars align and people encourage and bravery happens and it all kind of comes together. It's really gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Honest, I'm so grateful for being invited as well. It's
Yeah.
so lovely. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
You are an
really
amazing
welcome.
talent.
Yeah,
You
you're
are.
really welcome. I know Rue will be really sorry to have missed you, but yeah, great call from her, hooking up with you, seeing you at Born Lippy and bringing you on board.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what a treat. And I
Thank you.
believe from the slide that we've got, we're on to our final reader tonight, which is Aaron Murdoch, who is our long-time friend and contributor to these nights. So I'm gonna, without further ado, hand you over to Aaron for our last few poems of the evening. Aaron, take us away, kiddo.
All right, thanks very much, everyone. Thanks very much for it's a really good night tonight. Last month, we did a shenanigans about a kenning. I didn't get a chance to put it down, but I at least put it down onto the paper. To build a home from kenning I call you agreed birthright, internalized force field, contact location, leveled convenience, final thread, main support, brick purpose, unique importance, human right, global promise, safety whole, locked personal, obvious desired, agreed purpose, time bomb befriended, regal worthless, regardless taken, abolitionist words either stirs, functional loss, own business, lazy kind, launchpad glued, couldn't feature, kissing future, almost fulsome, support learning. Went off again, embarrassment. Well, best thing, get back to bed. Warm force field against storm. Whole obvious lie, room for one. Why asleep? The bed is craft. Will return to base in the bedroom. Wonder how nobody says. Which newspaper could print? Worst, nobody works out method. Walk a step on and the urge to glance. Worrying the following and hope know what doing. Wandered further away from the beginning. I call up. Oh, I'm not finished that one. Not finished that. I call this written existence marked wild, scribble, readable, writing, thinking, scroll, automatic, purposeful staining, calculated sentence, lazy drawing, blueprinting, sexy, director, dictator, pages raining, painted textual, paper customer, production chain, lowest rank, binding, unraveling, blank engulfing, in a world called emerging, all set to rights, they know the wording. And also, I am not an architect. If you build a house from Kenning, there's a very, very good, strong chance it will just fall down and lots of innocent people will get hurt. So don't build houses from bricks and mortar. Now, going to the next one, whichever one is. Here we go. Yeah, go. Yeah, here we go. Paper escape hatch, paper escape stairs. To never forget which seems hopeless, the record of deception. The walk back down to a motorist, both thinking had correction. What skeletons bury underweight of paper and commemorative magazines. To never forget how thought of hopeless brought tears and hateful jokes, kept from blades and sharp edges, if only head through summer window with its own correction, the soothing of the past, the hindsight of luck that kept close to her chest, saviour for the date gone. To never forget when seems hopeless, it's because of the past. There is this future where problems divided, sculptured in letters arranging sentence. The hope to one day read this back, the past after this pull catch on what's next forward and see a fraction next month. To never forget when seemed hopeless, you could always escape with paper, providing not the staircase in every case of fire hits. Until that day they sign off. Homes exist for paper escape hatch fit. Paper escape hatch, it's raining across the land. One makes a packet, but it gets results. Who answers back? Safety of paper escape staircase in case of emergency. Paper escape hatch. Thank you. That's what I was done. I'll try and see you next month. Thank you very much for listening. And I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. What an amazing way of thinking about, well, about writing or about paper escape hatches. Amazing, huh? Like, what a great thought to carry with us as we leave tonight's TWOOMPH. So thank you, everyone who has read tonight. Thank you for bringing your words, your ideas, your concepts, your emotions, the things that resonate with you and that remain in our minds now because they remained in your minds long enough to be committed to words. It's the beauty of poetry, and we love it. Absolutely love it. So big thanks to Lucy as well for being our screen sharer, our digital producer. We can take that that screen down now, and yeah, I shall wish you farewell. What you need to know is we go on our summer hiatus now because we're doing our spoken word boot camp in July and August. So we will return to this particular online TWOOMPH in September, when we hope to have all kinds of amazing readers and maybe even some people publishing some digital pamphlets with us. But we will be doing in-person TWOOMPHs in Middlesbrough throughout the summer. There will be an in-person showcase for our spoken word boot campers. Yeah, we will be in touch via our newsletter with all the information you need to come back and join us when the nights are drawing in a little bit and when we are less inclined to sit outside a pub with a glass of Pimm's rather than dedicating time to our poetry. So love you very much, everybody. Thank you so much. We're going to close the Zoom bay doors now and let you get on with the rest of your evening. Fare thee well.
Thanks, Cheston. Thanks, everybody. Great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.